In case you don't know, depriving your brain of good periods of rest is extremely bad for your health. According to Matthew Walker, professor of neuroscience at the University of Berkeley in California, and author of the book Why We Sleep, the lack of sleep will prevent your brain from creating new memories. It is so exhausted that it cannot store more information. Also, lack of sleep will lead to increased development of a toxic protein in the brain called beta amyloid, which is associated with Alzheimer's disease, because it is during deep sleep at night that a filtering system within the brain actually goes into action and begins to eliminate this toxic amyloid beta protein. So if you're not getting enough sleep each and every night, more of that Alzheimer's-related protein will build up. The more protein that builds up, the greater your risk of going on to develop dementia in later life. But then, what are the effects of sleep deprivation on the body? Well, there are many different effects. Firstly, it is known that sleep deprivation affects the reproductive system. Lack of sleep will age you by nearly 10 years in terms of virility and wellness, since men who sleep only 5 to 6 hours a night have testosterone levels comparable to those of people 10 years older. It is also known that a lack of sleep impacts your immune system, so after just one night of 4 to 5 hours of sleep, there is a 70% reduction in critical anti-cancer fighting immune cells called natural killer cells. And that's the reason that short sleep duration predicts your risk for developing numerous forms of cancer, and that list currently includes bowel cancer, prostate cancer, as well as breast cancer. In fact, the link between a lack of sleep and cancer is now so strong that recently the World Health Organization decided to classify any form of nighttime shift work as a probable carcinogen. In other words, jobs that may induce cancer because of a disruption of your circadian rhythms. Another consequence is that the lack of sleep impacts your cardiovascular system because it is during deep sleep at night that you receive this most wonderful form of effective blood pressure medication. Your heart rate drops and your blood pressure goes down. If you're not getting sufficient sleep, you're not getting that reboot of the cardiovascular system, so your blood pressure rises. There is a 200% higher chance of suffering a deadly heart attack or stroke in your lifetime if you sleep for less than 6 hours a night. There is a global experiment which is performed on 1.6 billion people twice a year, and it's called daylight saving time, and it is known that in the spring, when we lose 1 hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks the following day. But then, what is the recycling rate of a human being? How long can we last without sleep before we start to see declines in our brain function or even impairments within our body? The answer seems to be about 16 hours of wakefulness. Once you get past 16 hours of being awake, that's when we start to see mental deterioration and physiological deterioration in the body. It is known that after you've been awake for 19 or 20 hours, your mental capacity is so impaired that you would be as deficient as someone who is legally drunk behind the wheel of a car. And you, how long have you gone without sleeping? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel.